The story of the Persian people began a very long time ago. They were an old group of people who settled on a large, high piece of land. This land is now called Iran. For hundreds of years they lived in groups, taking care of animals and farming in the good spots of this tough land. At this time they were not all together as one group. Instead, they were under the rule of stronger kingdoms, like the Medes and the Babylonians. This early time was a period of quiet growth. The Persians learned about the land and how their powerful neighbors ran things. They watched and waited for their chance to become strong. Their home was a place where different cultures met, connecting the East and the West. This location was very important for what they would become. Big trade routes, like the future Silk Road, would go through their lands. This meant they saw many different cultures, ideas, and new ways of doing things. The Persians took in these influences and mixed them into something special and their own. This ability to change and create new things would become a key part of their culture. They were not alone, but right in the middle of the big changes happening in the ancient world. Their land made them into a people ready for bigger things. The time for change came with a very important person. His name was Cyrus. He was a leader from a small Persian kingdom called Anshan. Cyrus was different from the rulers before him. He was a brilliant military thinker and had a plan for a new kind of empire. He didn't just want to conquer and destroy. He wanted to bring together the many different people of the area under one steady rule. His leadership inspired the different Persian groups. They gathered around him, wanting to get rid of foreign rule and create their own future. Under Cyrus, the Persians began their amazing rise. He first brought the Persian groups together into a strong army. Then, he challenged and beat the Median Empire, the very power his people had served. This win was just the start. Cyrus went on to conquer the rich kingdom of Lydia and the old city of Babylon. His wins were quick and clear, but it was how he ruled that was truly new. He respected the ways and religions of the people he conquered. This way of being accepting earned him the name Cyrus the Great and set the stage for the world's first real superpower. The empire Cyrus started is called the Achaemenid Empire. It was the biggest empire the world had ever seen. It reached from the Indus Valley in the east to parts of southeastern Europe in the west. This huge area included Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Anatolia. To rule such a huge and varied land was a big challenge. The Persian kings who came after Cyrus, like Darius the Great, had to be good at managing things and also strong fighters. They made a system that allowed for both central control and local freedom, a way of ruling that many empires would copy later. Darius the Great was a key person who made the empire's system perfect. He split the empire into areas called satrapies. Each satrapy was ruled by a satrap, or governor, who was loyal to the king. To make sure they were loyal, Darius set up a network of spies known as the King's Eyes and Ears. He also built the Royal Road, an amazing road that was over 1,600 miles long. This road allowed for fast messages and troop movement across the empire. Messengers on horses could travel its whole length in just a week, which was an amazing achievement for getting things done in the ancient world. The Persian kings were absolute rulers. They had huge power, and were seen as the chosen helpers of the god Ahura Mazda. Their courts were places of amazing wealth, fancy events, and smart ideas. The main cities like Susa and Ecbatana were busy places. But the most grand of all was Persepolis, the main place for royal events in the empire. Here, people from every part of the huge land would come to give gifts to the King of Kings. The greatness of the Persian court was meant to make people feel amazed and show the king's strong power. The empire's growth had its problems. The Persians famously fought with the city-states of Greece. These fights, known as the Greco-Persian Wars, were a very important time for both cultures. While the Persians lost some key battles like Marathon and Salamis, their empire stayed mostly whole. They continued to be the strongest power in the area for another 150 years. The story of the Persian Empire is not just about winning wars, but about a smart and organized state that shaped the path of ancient history and set a new standard for what an empire could be. The things the Persian people achieved went far beyond fighting. They were master builders and architects. Their most famous creation, Persepolis, was an amazing building. It wasn't a city for regular people, but a grand place for royal events. The Persians mixed art styles from all over their empire, from Egypt, Babylon, and Greece. They created a special and grand style. The tall columns, detailed carvings, and huge doorways were made to show power, unity, and peace. This mix of styles showed how many different cultures were part of the empire. In terms of ideas, the Persians made lasting contributions. They created a complex writing system called Old Persian cuneiform. This was used for royal writings, most famously on the Behistun inscription, which helped understand other old languages. The empire also started one of the world's first organized mail systems, the Chapar Khaneh. This network of roads and stops allowed messages to travel quickly and safely across their huge land. This system was so good that the Greek historian Herodotus praised it, and it became a model for later cultures. Persian art was rich and full of meaning. It often showed scenes of royalty, nature, and old stories. Animal designs like lions and griffins were common and stood for power and protection from above. Persian artists were very skilled at working with metal, making beautiful things from gold and silver. Their detailed jewelry, well-made containers, and precise weapons were valued all over the ancient world. This artistic tradition wasn't just for looks, it was a way to share the values and beliefs of their culture, celebrating the beauty of nature and the greatness of their kings. The Persian Empire also brought new ways of ruling and handling money. Darius the Great made weights, measures, and coins the same across his land. He introduced the darik, a gold coin that became a trusted international currency. This made trading simpler and more reliable, helping the economy grow throughout the empire. These practical new ideas, from standard money to good mail services and grand building projects, show a culture that was not only powerful but also very well organized and creative. Their achievements set the stage for future progress in the area and beyond. The mighty Achaemenid Empire eventually fell. It was conquered by the armies of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BCE. This was the end of an era. However, the story of the Persian people didn't stop there. While their empire was gone, their culture proved to be very strong. The spirit of Persia was not easily put out. Over the centuries, new Persian ruling families like the Parthians and the Sasanians would rise. They brought back Persian traditions and kept challenging the powers of the West, especially the Roman Empire. Persian culture has lasted through its language, art, and traditions. The Persian language, Farsi, changed over thousands of years but still has a clear link to its old roots. It became the language of poems and stories. Great poets like Rumi and Hafez created timeless works that are still celebrated worldwide. Celebrations like Nowruz, the Persian New Year, have been observed for over 3,000 years. It marks the start of spring and stands for new beginnings and rebirth. These lasting traditions have been a strong force, bringing Persian people together across generations and political changes. The influence of Persia can be seen everywhere. Persian gardens, with their focus on shade, water, and balanced design, influenced garden styles from Spain to India. Persian carpets are famous for their detailed patterns and high quality, a tradition of art passed down through families. In science and math, Persian thinkers during the Islamic Golden Age like Al-Khwarizmi made huge contributions. His work gave us the words algebra and algorithm. This history shows that the Persian talent for new ideas continued long after their first empire fell. Today, the Persian identity is lively and strong, both inside Iran and in communities around the world. The amazing journey of the Persian people shows how powerful culture is in lasting through time, from the first great empire of Cyrus to the rich art and science contributions of later centuries. Their story matters. It is a story of a culture that has always been a bridge between East and West. The Persians have not only shaped their own future, but have also greatly enriched the shared history of all people, leaving a lasting mark on the world.